will be your last with Burak. Uh, oh, the recorder is started now, so I will give you another warm hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. This is your last tutorial session with me. Next session will be with Burak. It will be also the last one. And today agenda is, first of all, join slido.com to post any of your questions. And we're going to finish this session with a fun online game that you will join using Slido 2. So you can use your tablet, phone, or laptop. And we're going to start by talking about legal and ethics, but it's not a very long topic. So we're going to follow up by talking a little bit about the capstone project. I'm going to talk a little bit about the previous capstone too. And in the first session, some of you have posted a question that we did not have the time to answer. So I'm going to briefly answer them to show you that I did not forget about you. And then we're going to have our fun online game. So feel free to ask any question that you want. You can use your real name. You can unmute yourself and talk to me directly. And you can just post your question anonymously. So let's start. Legal and ethical consideration of developing AI solution. So in here, usually I like to talk about personal experiences. It's better than bringing something from the news and parroting the content that you already have seen on Google search. So one of the projects that I'll be working on, I cannot name the entity. It's a very cool project and it's very promising since I'm working with a top executive of that project. So it's really good for my professional career and by consequence, of course, my income. But the project started as a data engineering project and they wanted to rebrand it into an AI project. So that's the first highlight. That's the first red flag. So I could have worked on the project from end to end and finish it. But this top executive was like, can we sell it as an AI project? And you can see I was tough on some of you on the capstone grading. I was telling you this is not AI. You need to be specific about what you want. So this executive, he was handling a budget of between 200 and 300 million euros, and he had a team of 900 people with so many managers all around the world. And he was like, it's not AI, but I want to sell it as an AI. I told him that we cannot do that because ethically, that's not true. But I have a lot to gain to just shut up and work on it. It's just, I'm still fairly young. I can make a career without lying to the customers. And usually these products, you design them to your customers, whether B2C or B2B. And I was like, there is big incentives for me not to tell the truth about the system, but it has no AI in it because you do not need to use AI. And he was very comprehensive. And this is a small example how, because people think about AI, oh, it's gonna discriminate against us, oh, it's gonna take my job, is that ethical or not? All right, those are real concerns. But I think the first concern is, should you name your startup or your bank AI driven if it's not AI driven? Of course not. If you put a chatbot and you label your service as AI driven, you're actually misleading the customer, whether it's B2B or B2C. If you have a chatbot, just say it's a chatbot and don't um, play on the psychology of words to assume that you have something better than you actually have. Chatbot. So I started coding at 16 years old, and that will be, I don't know, around 2008. And first time I've come to know about chatbots, it was 2010, and it was JavaScript, this web development and JavaScript. I can assure you that most chatbots using by companies now, they are not much different in outcome than the ones developed in 2010. ChatGPT have revolutionized the way we consume it, but most companies now I'm interacting with the chatbot advisors, including the Emiratian application for visa immigration. So you need to download an app and you interact with Hamad. Hamad is their AI chatbot. And it seems to me like the 2010 basic JavaScript chatbot, which, do not get me wrong, it's efficient. You do not need to put fancy equipment when you don't need them, fancy tools when you don't need them. If it do the job, it do the job. Just don't lie about that because people will figure that out and people will run away from your service. So that's my first point about ethical AI. Ethics starts by actually stating what you actually have in your own project. Now, the second thing, also, I'm going to go back to a personal experience. So in the same project, this project is an HR project, and some of you, I gave them a bad grade because they used like HR project. You need to link it to financial project. HR, it can be in agriculture, it can be in sports, it can be in religion. You can recruit a religious group. That's also HR. It does not make it fintech or open banking. And this project was about recruiting international teams and see which one is the most efficient for your tech project. And they were like, how can we do AI about this? I was like, this is a data project. You analyze the data and you build the project. And they were selling it to the client as this complex technology because nobody knew how to do it. And I stepped in, I was like, I can design the system. And I was like, okay, you have 6 months. I've designed the system in 2 weeks, not to brag about my personal capabilities, but that's the difference between somebody who actually understands software engineering and can do legitimate data analysis. So the previous developers were blocked, they couldn't do it. And I just, guess what? I did an iterative loop with conditions. As simple as that. For for 1 to 10, for example, do if else. Of course, it was not like that. The challenging aspect was to actually build the features and gather the enough data. We did not have anything. But this is an example where uh, you can face on every day-to-day basis about technology. They will say, we have a complex underlying technology, and the reality is they have loop. Iteratively go from 1 to n. N can be like 2 or million. And without inside that loop, you have like if else, as simple as that. But sometimes people get trapped. So if you have a hammer, everything is an A. And then once the project is evolving and you have results, you'll be like, yeah, we have some underlying technology. And no, you do not have. You only need a good data analyst to do that. And that's not ethical to brand um, your project as an AI project or your data analyst as a data scientist. That's fundamentally different. Not actually fundamentally they are related, but technically they are different and the expertise are different. And that's not even legal. You are selling an AI product where you actually needed a data analyst and data scientist. That's not an AI product. Now everybody on LinkedIn is a guru. They make you feel bad about yourself. And I want to highlight that LinkedIn is the profile that you want to achieve, not the profile that you actually have. So I'll be very careful about the consultants that you're seeing in there. And since they are the future of your own financial institutions, I'm pretty sure that you are highly motivated and you will go to your managers and be like, let's do this, let's do that. And they will eventually end up with overpriced consultancy services from over the sea consultancy company. While what you need is actual data analysis. Everybody is like, oh, I'm so data obsessed, I'm so data driven. Well, let me break that into 90% of the problems that you have, maybe even, this is an outrageous number, even more than 90% of the challenges that you think you can solve them with AI, you do not even need AI. So the first principle of ethics about AI is actually having an actual AI project. It sounds outrageous, but that's the reality. is a bit chaotic like this, so I believe it's better if we have it like the previous sessions. I don't really understand that, so I will move on. So the third part of the story is that this system I was tasked to build, and not to make it personal. My colleagues are tech guys, and we talk about this all day, every day. Um, and I've seen these common practices everywhere, and nobody is talking about them, unfortunately. So the second part of this HR system. So I'm African, and the system that I'm gonna design with my own hand will discriminate against me because I'm not European descent, and even European, there was like classification which um, profile from which countries they get the bonus and the hiring process just because they are based in specific regional areas. So I know this is not something that consultants talk about because it will undermine their future, uh, I don't know, ambitions. But I think it's very crucial when you are training people who are working in government institutions to be aware of this, even in a private corporate, because these companies, they will be like, we are so ethical, we are so inclusive. But I've seen it and I heard about it from many big conglomerates. They are not. The system will discriminate against any non-Western European, as simple as that. I will not go deeper into that level. And they have a research from a research company that I don't know that's saying, well, these people are highly efficient, which contradicts the real data. The people based on their region, most of them are not engineers. For every 10 foreign engineers, you have one local engineer, and they are not working on the tech aspect. So that system will actually drive down the HR recruiting process. So one of my managers is an Indian manager based, I cannot say where, he was opposing the system. So in here we can see people standing up, speaking out against these malpractices. Eventually, I finished building this system and I left before putting this um, controversial option, which have consequence on me professionally. But hey, somebody needs to do the right thing. And here I'm not saying I'm a hero. I'm not saying anything. But at that time, I'm still teaching with MIT, and I need to practice what I'm preaching. Cannot just go to MIT talking about AI leadership, human AI interaction, data strategy in business, and ethical components in each training while I'm not abiding by that. So I chose to change the client, and eventually I did. And these challenges can come up to you on every day-to-day basis, and you need to be vigilant about it. Discrimination will only, so like hate will only bring hate, violence will only bring violence. And what you think that a specific pool of people will generate a better outcome for you, maybe that's maximizing the profit on the short term. But on the medium, on long term, you'll have major scandals like Amazon had with their HR system. Now, there is the GDPR, CCPA, and there are many other international, I would say intergovernmental uh, policies that will help with this, but there is no way to enforce it. I don't know the regulatory climate in the Middle East, but I know the regulatory climate in North Africa, and I can tell you it's absent. So one of the smart practices that European companies do, they will settle in countries like Tunis, and they will drive their unethical AI and data conduct. What the French government did is they told these entities, you cannot process data outside of France. And this is very standing up to the French citizens' data privacy rights, and is something that should be saluted. One of the most gruesome um, financial, how to say it, financial processes is the French one. There is auditing teams that will randomly come to your team. I was working in the innovation team. We build fintech products, and they can come to your team at 8 a.m. unannounced, and they will double check your work. So you need to be in line with that. Not all countries are like France when it comes to regulations, and there is a good arguments for that. I'm not sure if, oh, once again, I forgot to share my screen with you, I guess. Oh, I'm already sharing my screen. Good. Oh, that's my passport to go to Vietnam. And this is Slido. The counter argument against all these ethical and legal dilemmas is it will hinder the innovation process. And I actually do. If you are a small fintech, the amount of regulations and laws you need to abide by, I personally will never open a fintech because of that. It's just too much. It's not for the small player. If you are opening a hedge fund or a bank in the US, it will cost you tens of millions of dollars just to start. And it will take you at least 2 to 3 years in consultancy and lawyers' fees to do that. So it's not cost effective. But if you have a big executive in a big company, and one of the banks I worked with, the direct manager of mine is the CTO. So when I have a good idea, he will listen to me, try to put it. But he himself, being a regional CTO, he needs to listen from his up hierarchy CTO in Europe. And the good ideas usually do not come up from the bottom up. If you are the developer, if you are the person communicating with the client, you have the good ideas. But what happens is you have the CDO, COOs, some cheap, they will think the idea is good, but it's complete disconnect with the clients, whether they are B2C or B2B. So please be careful about that. Now I have a question. Okay, cannot really see the question in here. What do you think about recent headlines about, okay, recent headlines about the EU banning encryption? It's scandalous. It's scandalous. This will tighten the grip of private corporate and even governmental corporate to access your data. And believe me, if they access your data, in a nutshell, you can see what happened with the Cambridge Analytica. Giving access by Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg does not even publicly deny it, and helped to swing the election to Donald Trump. I'm not saying Donald Trump is evil. I actually like his policies. He says outrageous things, but the things he puts into action is more ethical than the uh, Democrats' party. But bear in mind that your public data on Instagram. So some smart cookies things being on Instagram is better. Again, it's the same company. This is the same engineers, the same recommendation system. If you give access to Cambridge Analytica, and now everybody is demonizing that company, hundreds of them are existing. But once the cow is dead, like everybody wants to take a piece out of it. The second part of the question, what does that mean for future data privacy concerns and AI businesses? I think I will not blame the private corporates for that because at least for social media, you are the champion of what you get as a recommendation. So now Instagram is being under scrutiny for being the butt app. Whenever you open Instagram, there are butt pictures. And I'm not a very politically correct person to sugarcoat the truth. I'm an engineer. I will tell you the truth to your face. So now Instagram is being considered as the biggest sex app. It's bigger than Tinder. And people are complaining about this. I want to say that they are hypocrites. If you are seeing a content that is not decent, it's because you have interacted with a similar content. So do not play the virtuoso type because Instagram and Facebook will not recommend not decent content to you if you do not interact with it. Plus, Meta have equipped you with blocking not decent content, reporting spams, reporting profiles that are sexually um, provocative, and you can tailor your own content. For me, news give me a lot of anxiety. So I block all the news. If I want to see news, I will wait 6 months, enter a smart cookie on YouTube, make a documentary about it. Or I will wait 2 years and see a full legit analysis on Netflix. So please, if you are a consumer, do not blame the regulatory entities. Stop blaming Meta. Stop blaming these giants for what they are doing. They are serving billions of people, and you are just one individual, and you are responsible for what you are seeing. If it's too violent, because probably you spend time on it, it can be a few seconds. I can, if I have the time, I will honestly open my phone. I only use Facebook, and you will not see any polarizing content. You will not see any bot influencers. You will not see any violence. You only see memes. It's my personal profile, and this is why I want to see when I open Facebook. After a long day of 10 hours working every day, I don't want to dig into news and people having beef. If you have having two beef, it's because you have put a comment, put a like, or you are following toxic people. That's your own responsibility. Ethically and not legally, ethically, you have a mission toward yourself to filter the good content for you. Stop blaming others for your wrongdoing. You are not children. And I'm not giving you a university lecture in here, but these recommendation systems are very well known in the fintech industry. I designed at least three of them, and one of the easy to talk about is recommend companies to invest in. So what we see is we ask the client if we can access his historical information or our banking platform, and I will recommend him something that depending on what types, if you are in the oil and gas industry, I'm more likely to, my system more likely to recommend, for example, Aramco for you in Saudi Arabia. So, um, uh, yeah, so I finished my point. Juma, I've seen you raising your hand, so please unmute yourself and ask your question. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Professor. How are you?
Oh, just to correct you, I'm not a professor. I'm an
Uh-huh.
engineer.
Okay. Morning
Yeah,
engineer then.
you can call me MK. I do not love titles, just to correct, because this is very delicate subject with the
Mhm.
universities. The professors are the content creators. We are tutors and we are the content deliverers. And personally, I like to people to call me by my name, and me and you, we do not have any difference in real life. You are a human being,
Got
I'm a human being, so we should be able to connect on first basis. You are Joma, I'm Wafaq, so please ask your question.
Sure. Thank you. So basically, I believe you touched on an interesting topic regarding the legal and the ethics of AI. So my question is related to basically once you input the data in an AI application, how, like, what is the perspective from the authorities if you put fake data in AI, synthetic data, basically because you are saying it will cause discrimination, but what if an organization is not putting the real data, not the authentic data? How the legal authorities will be able to know that?
It's a great question, and this question will take at least an hour to respond to because it has so many angles to it. So I will try to simplify it. The first one, you actually can use fake data, and we call it simulated data. So simulated data is to take the actual data. For example, you have a time series of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. These are odd numbers. So these are odd numbers, and the difference between two odd numbers is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2. 7 minus 5 is 2. So here I have a statistical distribution that I can replicate. So after the 9, if I do another time series of 11, 13, 15, this is simulating data. Data simulation is very ethical, and this is called federated learning. It's a big topic. And actually, surprisingly, it's very ethical because it will protect the real data. So if you have a fintech startup and you want to ensure that you have legitimate data that actually does not belong to a user, you will simulate your own data. Now, fake data, there is a big scandal at Stanford University. So Stanford University professors, they want to, instead of doing real engineering and going the hard road of coding and actually finding insights or going on the field and gathering real data, they gathered fake data. So fake data and simulated data are not the same thing. Simulated data might seem fake because it's not user generated, but if the statistical distribution, for example, I'm saying statistical distribution, that's an example to simulate data from real data. But fake data does not have any um, any relationship to what the user are generating. So if I have a time series of 1, 3, 5, 9, and then I end up with 10, 12, 16, 32. These are pair numbers. They are odd numbers. This simulated data is not true. It's fake data. So fake data is not real. The second part of the question, how auditors will know that? Probably auditors will not know that. And this happens. So the audit team, the French audit teams, when they come to my team, I cannot go in depth about what happens, but basically, if we want to cheat them, we can cheat them. They do not. Okay, this is another bomb, dropping another bomb. Um, I'm trying to make it politically correct. I'm not shocking. But the gurus in the consultancy company that will tell you, we have this magical framework. If you apply this framework, it will work. You will detect the not so good data. No, you are lying. There is no framework absolutely whatsoever that can help you to do that. And you can detect the fake data if you have an AI design system and you reverse engineer that AI design system and it does not work. A good, robust system, it will work under all data conditions and fake data can be detected. Now, one of the fake data can be generated is the ChatGPT. Why in the assignments I have also given bad grades is because simply, if you opted to ChatGPT and copy pasted without giving depth to it, that data is not, those answers are not real legit answers for an AI fintech uh, question. That's what you expect somebody in high school will reply to it using those terms. But if you are taking a legit Oxford course, you are expected to generate more in-depth answers, and chatbots will not give you that answer. So what Facebook have done, they released a framework to detect AI generated text, and AI generated text is a fake text because until now they do not deliver depth um, answers. That's the second thing about the auditors. The auditors will most likely not catch you with your fake data. The third aspect is how can authorities mitigate against that? Well, this is what I'm advocating for. If you are an AI engineer and you are good at coding, you need also to learn about economics. You need to learn about politics. In economy, you will learn about the free market. If so, the problem is banks are converging. Everything is converging toward a small minority that owns everything. Google owns most of AI startups. Meta owns the rest, and AWS owns the last part of it. The only way to mitigate against this, whether you are a private institution or a governmental institution, is the free market law. Putting a lot of regulations, putting a lot of laws, that does not work. It does not work. You need to have free uh, flow of ideas and you need to let the market regulate itself. I'm not a libertarian, but every time we put a lot of regulations, they fail. Of course, we're gonna have toxic products. Now there is a million app on the App Store, on the Play Store that will pretend to give you the girlfriend AI experience, the best AI chatbot, and they will fail because most of them are scams, most of them are not legit, and the market will determine that. It will take us few years to filter who's the good and who's the bad, and it's up the market to do that on an international level. So whenever I hear audit and authorities trying to figure out, it's a legit big question. It's like billions of dollars have been spent and promoted by consultancy company. We're gonna bring you our consultants to figure out if you are ethical or not. We're gonna put a framework. It's not true. Talk to any fintech creator, talk to any legit guy who is doing legit work, and they will tell you it does not work. We cannot do that. The only way to do it is a free market. And this is one of the things that Elon Musk is pushing. He's a free speech absolutist, and that's for a reason. So this is a natural response to you. So Juma, I think the pronunciation is Juma. So I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and I hope I have given you some
Yes,
insight about your question.
yes, it is correct. Thank you.
Great. So we do not have time. So we wasted 15 minutes because this time you are not into a class. So we're gonna finish late, and we're gonna finish at 1:15. So we still have 30 minutes. Briefly, I will answer the rest of the questions. Do you think there will be a rise in the use of AI data auditors? Yeah, it's a scam. You cannot audit unless you have robust algorithms, and those are proprietary to few companies. And those companies are by notorious figures like Andrew Ng, like Andrew Karpathy, like the big heads of AI, which hopefully one day I will be like that. But the rest, they will do a PowerPoint presentation and they will not help you. I think Joma is meant that data poisoning, feeding AI false data. Oh yeah, sorry, Joma. You have talked about that. That's why I told you there is a lot of perspective, a lot of angles about your question. Data poisoning, there is two aspects of it. The data drift. So, for example, in the COVID, like in the travel industry, you can notice that travel trends have dramatically changed. But that's almost like a black swan event. And your data is getting corrupt because you cannot detect flights or travel or accommodations during the COVID time. Um, Nassim Taleb is saying that COVID is not a black swan. I will take his word on it, so uh, I will not have his economic guru. So he says it's not, so I'll go by his word. But that's a data drift. Data drift is when the data drifts and the model that worked at certain time is no longer viable, and you can poison your data, which is the extreme. So if you intentionally drift your data, like on social media, like it happened in the US election and it's going to happen in the next election, that's data poisoning. There is a lot of hate speech generated by bots. Oh my God, this is a really great question. Twitter, now called X. So Twitter is saying that there is 5 billion bots, and I'm not assuming those 5 billion bots are doing great work. By the way, the Emirati population, I will just Emirati population. You have 9 million. So imagine half of UAE is robots feeding fake data. Imagine, I will not say election because you have a monarchy, but like in Tunis, we have a democracy and 5 million fake bots generating fake news. That's data poisoning, and you cannot audit that. It's too much. So the only way to do it is to leave it for the market to decide which is what. And that's a nail in the coffin of democracy because democracy will not. I'm a pro supporter of monarchies. They are long-term thinkers, and I humbled myself. I went back to study macro and microeconomics to be able to design really legit uh, AI models. What do you think about recent headline? Okay, we answered it. Hi, Abdullah. Thanks for sharing. He touched on exactly what I meant. I appreciate it. With the question above cause issues in the future in regards to copyright laws, in IT, forget about copyright laws. By the time you copyright something, it's already dead. Copyright laws, even in the movie industry, and like spend whatever billions on it, it will not work. The only thing that works is agility. If you are fast enough to put your products and you have a momentum behind it, you can make money out of it. If you're gonna wait for the settlement of the copyrights of infringement, that will not work. And there is like actual companies in Europe that will, in China too, that will bring, they're actually funding the founders to copycat American technology. Yeah, so it's a hell break loose on the copyright. For the questions of the first tutoring session, this is why I want to answer because this is an amazing question from Aisha. She said, is it possible to teach machine ethics, empathy, and compassion? Most AI engineers will say no. I would say yes, and that's on my own professional responsibility. And I will show you why. I will Google what are ethics. What are ethics? Ethics or morality philosophy is a branch of philosophy that involves systematizing. So whenever you have this jargon is you can switch it from a human construct to an algorithmic construct. Recommended concept, that's if we can make the abstract concepts into concrete concepts, we can actually code them and it will serve, we can build a wrapper as a recommendation system around that. I know uh, I'm not deep diving into this because this question is super interesting and also it will take at least 1 hour to answer. Also the right and wrong behavior. So when we talk about ethics is usually the right and wrong behavior. So I'll take this easy part and I'll tell you, we know what is wrong and we know what is right. And because we know them, we can simply put if else about the wrong and good behavior. And you can train reinforcement learning algorithms to be able to answer ethical questions. Now there is an engineer at Google, and he said the AI is sentient, and the question that he asked is, what is the capital of Palestine? So for the Muslim world, Palestine belongs, Palestine. I don't want to get into this topic because it's very political, but basically the AI have said that this is this is a trick question. How did the AI know this is a trick question? The Israelis are saying we have the capital. People in Gaza and the West Bank have another answer to that. Not to get into the political aspect of it, but the AI said this is a trick question. How did the AI know this? Now, Andrew Ng this week, I'll show you who Andrew Ng is. You can Google the rest. This is why I refer to it. If Andrew Ng says something, it's something. So Andrew Ng is the founder of Coursera. He's the founder. He was the head of deep learning AI, Baidu, which is one of the biggest commercial AI companies in the world. And he's saying that one of the research companies, they have a game-based learning process to identify if the ChatGPT is actually understanding the world. He's not parroting answers, and he's saying he's not parroting answers. He actually understands it. So, boom. Most likely we have sentient AI and we have like AI that actually understands the world in the future. Now, one of the learners, so by the way, all of you have done almost great. The lowest grade I have given for the second capstone is 70%. Some people have 50% of the previous grade and they managed to have 100%. Really proud of you. I have said in my feedback that I'm proud of you. You have done great job. I was tough on grading you in the first capstone and boom, everybody has done a better job. Very few had 70%, but I think in their third capstone they would do great. Uh, yeah. What is the hardest part of the AI algorithm? This is a question um, from the first session. The hardest part about the AI algorithm is to understand the nature of the business um, you are in. In politics, you need to understand politics. In economics, you need to understand economics. And as an AI expert, you need to have an answer for every aspect of human life and not to go too deep in it. That's kind of fake. You cannot actually go too deep into multiple aspects. So I'm telling you, please design a recommendation system for for U.S. election. You need to know about the U.S. election and which uh, data to work on, which fake or not. If you are into agriculture, you wouldn't know what is polarizing data looks like. How good the outcome would be if an AI feed on data that is created by AI? That's another great question, and it's related to Jama's question too. We have something is called data augmentation. So in data augmentation, like for image detection, we can change the angle of the image. We can change the size of the image. We can change the color of the image. So these data are being synthetically changed, and it actually enhances the capabilities. But if you go to stable diffusion algorithms, and if you do not know what stable diffusion is, go back to the previous session and if you feed your AI model on stable diffusion, something will happen is overfitting. Overfitting is when the AI model starts to memorize instead of learning. So you need like genuine real data. But at some point, yeah, it's like even AI generated pictures will help your model. But be careful about the overfitting. And too much AI generated also can have the reverse effect of underfitting. So this is underfitting, this is like legit fitting, and this is overfitting. Also, we need at least 1 hour to cover this topic. It's very critical topic, especially if you are developing these AI models. So to be fair to everybody who asked questions, I'm gonna go deeper. And boom. Yeah. Can AI beat human intelligence? Of course, we are seeing it, but we do not have a generalized AI. So AI human level intelligence is not yet achieved by a specific task. Yeah, it is achieved. Logistic regression is a classification problem. Yes, it's called regression, but still a classification. Yet you can use it for regression. Okay, I finished all the asked questions. By the way, you can be brave like Jama and unmute yourself and ask me a question if you want to. Like, oh, Jama, do you have another question?
Yes, if I may, please, regarding the question of the logistic regression, I might have some confusion related to machine learning, if you can please help me understand. So if we take fraud detection as a scenario, so from my understanding, supervised learning algorithm, which is the logistic regression, it calculates probability of one event out of the two, either fraudulent transaction or non-fraudulent transaction. So my understanding before, AI application should only like solely only use supervised or unsupervised algorithm, but this was wrong from my research that also there is another unsupervised machine learning algorithm, which is the K-means self-organizing maps, which helps identify unusual patterns. So my question is, we can use unsupervised or supervised algorithms in one AI application, not necessarily only one machine learning algorithm. Correct?
Correct. But to touch upon a very interesting aspect, in almost all the assignments I have graded, I have urged you to be specific, not for you, Jama, specifically, but to answer you through what I have read in the assignments. I urge you to be specific about the AI field. If you use the AI hammer, like my solution is AI, that's something topical. It's not a legit answer. A legit answer would be like, I'm gonna use machine learning, and in machine learning, I'm gonna use unsupervised learning, and in unsupervised learning, I'm gonna use clustering, and one of the clustering algorithms is k-means. So Jama, k-means is a clustering algorithm, and clustering is a subfield of unsupervised learning, and unsupervised learning is a subfield of machine learning, and machine learning is a subfield of AI. This is the depth of the AI hierarchy. You have AI, classical machine learning, unsupervised learning, clustering, and then boom, we have the k-means algorithm. If I find the k-means word, I will probably give you a 90% at least for your assignment. If you tell me I'm gonna use AI, you're gonna have an automatic 50% failing grade because the AI is not the solution. K-means to solve clustering problem to resolve the unsupervised learning challenge within the classical machine learning is the answer to the assignment. So thank you so much, Jama, for reminding me on that and for your great question. That will help your colleagues. Now, before answering the last questions, I'm going to go back to the capstone. It's very simple. You need to make a PowerPoint presentation, maximum of 10 slides. Do not exceed 50 to 80 words per slide. I will not go in depth because what you need to do is to go back to first and second capstone and see the feedback. I know some of you did not get a very tailored feedback is because you are out of topic. If you are out of topic, I cannot give you a tailored feedback. If you use the AI hammer, like AI will solve the problem. You have failed the assignment, basically. I'm not looking for somebody who's telling me AI is going to solve my problem. And I repeat the word AI 20 times in their assignment. I need you to tell me which subfield of AI you are using. You're going to say deep learning, but then which deep learning? Is it a recurrent neural network? Are you targeting transfer learning? Is it a chatbot? The easiest answer is chatbot. But AI is much bigger than that. Most of you get 80, 90% for NLP. Good. But what is NLP? Are you using RNN? Are you using LSTM? Are you using transfer learning? Are you using stable diffusion? Are you using OCR? Are you using computer vision? And I made sure I spent 1 hour in the first tutorial session to go through all these details. But like I said, this week, most of you were successful. The least grade I have given is 70%, and some people with 50% of the previous grade got 100%. Great. So you read my feedback and you done a much better job, and I was able to give more tailored feedback. The more depth you go into assignment, the more better feedback I give you, except few people who get 100%, they touch upon everything. I think there are 2 girls, they were very engineering driven, and 1 guy. So I'm grading 52 learners and the rest is for Burak. I have 3 that are very engineering driven. Super proud of you. That's the way to tackle an AI challenge. But also some of you are very business savvy. They get 100% even if they are more product driven. So in real world, you have 2 approaches. Either you are very engineering driven like Google, or either you are very product driven like Meta. Some of you get 100% because they are very AI driven, and we need those brains. If you got 70% or 75%, you are not bad. This is a difficult online program. We are not expecting you to excel. We are expecting you to try your best. This is not the online Arizona Tech fill the quiz and you get a degree. This is Oxford with real industry experts and faculties giving you the best. So be happy about what you have achieved. And by now, I think all of you have passed the capstone. So in the last one, try to put the slides based on your previous two presentations. So for those who were out of topic for the first one, just use the second capstone. Don't stress over the first one. The first one is done. You got your 50%. You only get punished once. And that was done. The second one, check my feedback, check the links I'm sharing, watch some YouTube videos about your idea, and I'm sure you're gonna have a good pitch deck. Moreover, if you feel you need more explanation about the capstone, which is self-explanatory already, please text us, send a message. If I don't find them the first day, the support team usually they will send me an email, tell me, hey MK, check this student. And I want to apologize to Ruda. She's a student here. I replied very late. I kind of did not get a notification of your, you wanted a feedback on your discussion, and I gave it really late. Thanks to the supporting team, they told me that I need to get back to you. They are the ones that found it. So sorry for the late feedback, but I tried to put a lengthy opinion about your discussion. Guys, because this is my last session with you, I will allow myself to go over time. But if you have something else to do, you can disconnect. I will not be offended, but I will finish this session at 1 p.m. 30. So I will go 30 minutes after time. 1 p.m. is my time. But yeah, if you want to stick with me for the next 30 minutes, because we lost 15 minutes at the beginning, feel free to do so. We have a very fun game to do, but please, if you can't, feel free to drop off. Now, I'm going back to the questions. I think the AI know because the volume of sentiments are both significant. I think here, Abdullah, you are talking about social media, if I'm not wrong. And actually, no. There are big speculations about the FBI said that the Russian interference in the US election have feeded more conservative content that will affect the AI sentiment analysis. But I think it's wrong because the Democrats have done the same. It's not balanced. It's balanced in some states and not balanced in the others. Ohio, it's a swing state. Florida is swing states, and they voted Republican. And I think the sentiment were more conservative for those social media content. So it depends where you are. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I was talking about Palestine capital. Oh, thank you for correcting me. So I'm gonna read the question. I think the AI know because the volume of sentiment are both significant. Yeah, that's a smart one, but I will argue back why it did not do that in the political realm, why it did not do that about religion, why it only did it in the most tricky geopolitic questions. So that's why the Google AI engineer is saying sentient. That's his words, not mine. But yeah, thank you for that clarification. For me, I do not have a specific in-depth knowledge about how the algorithm have reached that claim. For Capstone 3, should we present the slides and record the video of ourselves explain it or share the slides? I think here it says only share the slides. You will be required To submit a report deck presenting your key findings. The presentation should explain the project that you have been working on and present the information regarding the terms. Yeah, it only says slides. If you say the word video, please let me know. Considering the following topics, are you finalize deck? It's only a deck, yeah. I'm seeing only a deck. So those were the questions. So now let's have some fun. But first, everybody log in into Slido and enter the pin. We have a quiz, and we gonna have the ultimate winner of the AI and FinTech and open banking program. So bear with me. We have 10 questions that are difficult, and I'm gonna answer them briefly because we do not have all the time in the world. If you need to drop off, please feel free to do so. If you don't want to, you can stay and compete. That's what I love, competition. And you can use fake names. I don't mind. But yeah, I'm going to start the quiz. I'm seeing no participants, which is normal, but you should be able to. So on your phone, from the Q&A tab, go to the quiz tab. And I'm seeing your lovely names. Yes, we are rolling. Oxford professor. Oh, nice. Who's the Oxford? I love the funny names. By the way, this is a personal initiative. Oxford do not do this, but we are experimenting if this is a good for gamification style of education. By the way, we can spend the whole hour on the quiz, and in every question, we dedicate 10 minutes, and it's gamified. It's enhanced human experience. So please uh, bear with us on this experiment. Last time we have used Kahoot, and Kahoot was free. I used on classrooms of 100 of people and it worked, but now it's paid. So now I'm using Slido because it's free. This is not the Oxford responsibility. How to access the quiz? Well, it's simple. You go to Slido, you put the pin code, and you click on the polls tab. I will show you on my phone. Yeah, see, we were in the Q&A. So I'm connected. We are in the Q&A, and in here, I will go to polls. You write your name and join. That's it. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. Oh, we have 71. Nice. Not much of you have dropped off. Great, great. And what I'm expecting is to see 50 people joining, and then we're gonna start the quiz. But if you take too much time, honestly, I'm gonna start the quiz and you can catch up later. By the way, if you score horribly for the first few ones, believe me, you still can win because the questions are difficult. We have 23 participants. I'm not sure why the number is low, but once we reach 30, I'm gonna start. Otherwise, it's gonna take forever. Okay, I'm gonna share the QR code. I'm not sure how the event link. So everyone, if you have problems joining Slido, this is the event link. And once again, this is the pin code. But you only need to press go to Zoom, go to chat, and you'll find the event link and the pin code. I should have bought a bigger bottle of water. My throat is hurting from all the talking. Well, we have 39. Great. Elon Musk is playing with us. Hello, sir. Can I please be the head of AI of X? No, it's gonna be Lex Friedman. Meow meow, that's cute. I love it. Fun, easy, good. I think you are referencing Kanye West. Are you easy coming back to Kim? I heard Andrew Tate is one out Kim, but I'm sure you are the one easy who will take from everybody else. We still have 15 minutes, so buckle up. We're gonna start the quiz. Just one last time to check. All the water. What Ali means by all the water? I don't know. Let's see if you have questions. No, really, we have 42. Let's start, guys. I'm gonna share my screen. And what you're gonna see the answers on your phone. So I'm gonna join too. MK, get ready. I will not play with you, just to test. Here we are. Yeah, and boom, start the quiz. Oh, I can see the quiz on my phone. So I'll stop sharing. By the way, you could have seen all the questions and answered them, uh, but I'm sure you did not. Okay. I wish you turn on your camera so I can see your facial expressions. All right. The correct answer is augmented reality. Obviously, 68% have answered correct. That we have a lot of, but this is the first question, so it happens. It happens that people struggle with the first question. Going for the second question. Oh, the number of participants is 31. Why there is a big drop? Guys, even if you did not answer the first question, you still can join, and believe me, you still can win. People will answer a lot of wrong answers, so you can catch up if you do good. So the correct answer, now you're gonna see it on your phone. Augmented reality, 68% have answered correct. The leaderboard. Oops. Oh, M. M is the fastest. So M is the first one, AI Genius is the second, and the exclamation point is the third. But I think there is a... Let's go for next question. Not sure why everybody is locked out. Oh, this is the number of people who have answered. So we have almost 50 people. And okay, this is the first time I use Slido. So I'm learning with you. And the correct answer is Robo Advisor. Great job, guys. Correct answer. Only half of you answered correct, so this is a big competition. Am is still leading Khawla and Fahd. Am is so fast. Let's go to the next question. We need to finish in 10 minutes. By the way, you only have 20 seconds to answer. So the correct answer is the last one. This is a difficult question, by the way. 74% have answered correctly. So good for you. Let's go. Wow. M is super fast, like 32 seconds, 7 seconds ahead of everybody. Hey, Jum'a, buddy, you can do it. I believe in you. You are very brave. You can do it. I'm trying to talk to the Oxford professor. Is that you, Lucy? I don't know. So on the background, Lucy and is hosting this session. She's from the support team. Also, Gwen is helping me and Burak conduct this course. So big applause for Gwen and Lucy for uh, behind the curtain. Great job. Big applause for you. I forgot to do that. Next question. All right. Where is all right? Explainability. That's the real difficult question. That's why I told you, even if you join late, you still can win. The problem with deep learning, not only in open banking, in almost everywhere, is how to explain it. The leaderboard is going to change. Damn. Oops, I should not say that word online. M is killing it. The only one that have four correct answers. Good for you. H2O. Drink your water. You are you are closing the gap. Fahad, great work. Honestly, A and B, why you chose a boring name? AI genius, that's you are ranked 7. That's not so genius. Guys, I'm just being playful. So meow meow, that's cute, but you are ranked 35. So let's go to the next question. Yeah, Jum'a, not as fast as the other. MashaAllah, everybody. By the way, I'm native Arabic speaking. Maybe you should, like, for the next course with me, I will teach you in Arabic using a Tunisian accent, which you probably will not understand anything of the Tunisian accent. Well, let's see the correct answer. Leaderboard, M is killing it. I think M is Burak. I think M is Burak. let's through the Tunisian. Oh, I will answer your. Okay, since like, except Lucy and Burak, I think all of you will understand Arabic. So I will answer this question in Arabic just once, because this question should be in English. Um, but all the words are technically in English. It will be hard to translate. الأخصائيين الاستشاريين للاستشارات المالية ينجموا يكونوا روبوات وينجموا يكونوا بشر. باش نجموا السؤال اسكو نجموا نستعملوا الروبوات في آه، نستعملوا الروبوات الذكية في بلاصة البشر like 100% 100%. آم، الإجابة الصحيحة اغلبكم جاوبوا ما نجموش على خاطر الروبوات ما عندهمش ذكاء اصطناعي. آه، والاجابه الصحيحه انه هذا كان صحيح في الاعوام اللي سبقت. في الاعوام هذه آم، ثم برشا شركات يخدموا 100% بالروبو ادفايزر بالاستشارات نتاع الروبوات من غير ما يستعملوا البشر. اول شركه كانت موجوده في سنغافوره توا تعممت على العالم الكل. في العالم الكل عندك شركات 100% ما يستعملوش البشر. دونك yes because they are cheaper delivering خاطرهم اذكى خاطرهم ارخص وعلى خاطر النتائج خير. بالنسبه للعباد اللي جاوبت because their working doesn't require any leave or break صحيح مش على خاطر هذاك. نحن نستعملوا الروبوات على خاطرهم اذكى وعلى خاطرهم ارخص وعلى خاطرهم more efficient معناها يعطوا دي ريزولتا كثير. وليت نحكي بالفرنسي في العالم. So I hope you have understand my answer in Arabic and Tunisian dialect, but that's going to be the last time I do that. Now let's go to the leaderboard. And finally answered something wrong, which is, I have a feeling it's a she. I don't know why in my mind it's a she. But H2O AI genius, great job. And let's go to the next question. Oh, Ali, you said it's hard to fill in the French. Yeah, because people confuse North African with Arabs, who are ethnically Amazigh. And if I talk real Tunisian, it's mostly a mixed Amazigh French language. So yeah, it happens all the time. That's why even when I meet real Arabs in real life, I just speak in English. There are two M's. I'm not sure what Jama you mean by this. And the correct answer is quantum computing will affect all industry and it will be time reducing, energy reducing, all the things. But until now, is not mature to do any business uh, use case. And what you are seeing with Google, they're just promoting their product. And you can notice is always the Telegraph who report on this big breakthroughs that we are not seeing any concrete business use cases for it. So the leaderboard again. We still have 3 more questions. I'm kind of sure the M is Bora. Oh, Jama is telling me there is 2 participants with the nickname M. Very creative. Very creative names. Okay, I will see in the Zoom who's M. Who's M, by the way? Is it Mariam Al-Hashmi or Mariam Al-Nuaimi? Or Moza? We have 2 Moza. I don't know. But if you're gonna win, you need to tell us who's M. Oh, Akbar. Akbar, you have a very nice logo on your profile. It's like a funny emoji. What did you love the most about your AI and fintech course? So, what is the correct answer? All of them are correct. It's just a way for me to figure out uh, what is the best thing. So, the tutor discussion. Yes. That means me and Borak, we have delivered great tutoring session. Congratulations for me and Borak. And the second best thing is the faculty session. Uh, when I'm gonna tell the support team to tell the faculty that I have this question, and you have loved the faculty session. By the way, me and Burak, we are not faculty session. We are external contractors to help facilitate the course. The third thing is the tutor quiz. Yes, we have done a great job. And reading from the Canvas, 61%. The capstone project, 75%. Yeah, this is great insight. I'm going to share this with the team. Now let's correct answer. All of them are correct. So M is still going to be on top. Oh, B. Now we have B. Very creative news. Before the last question, what was your preferred tutoring session? It was this one. And that means that we have done a great job in gamifying your user experience, and our efforts is well received. By the way, all the answers are correct. There is no wrong answer. Oh, wow, there is people who love the second session the most. I cannot find this session is the best. The second best is the first, and the third best is the second. But all of the answers are correct. 7 out of 9. I'm still leading. Fad is back to the second. H2O. All right. All right. I wonder where is Burak and Lucy. I wonder if they are playing actually. Anyway, guys, let's go to the last question, which is the most difficult question. Go ahead. All right. So 50%, they think empathy cannot be solved with AI. Well, you can solve empathy with AI. Now, empathy is actually quantified. It's hormones. You can quantify the level of hormones. And once you do that, you can pull up KPIs for emotions. And once you do KPIs for emotions, AI can do that. One of the best things to argue back against people who think empathy cannot be AI generated is like you have computer vision, and computer vision can detect the feelings. And from that, whenever you're ready, I'll see you at 11:30. Thank you. I think that's Echa. Echa, I think your mic is on. Oh, guys, we have the allowed time. So I'm gonna go briefly through the last question. AI can be creative. You can check stable diffusion, and for dexterity, you can check uh, AlphaGo 0, and Mu 0. The dexterity is uncanny to play like Atari games, Go, Shogi, and chess. So none of the above. And for the geniuses that answered none of the above, I think you're gonna be winning with us again. The leaderboard. M. M is killing it. B, great job. You are not in the top 10 and you are the top 2. Great. AI genius, great consistency. Fahd, 4 is not bad. Khamis. Khamis in Tunis, we call them Khamis. I don't know is the right pronunciation. Juma, I'm proud of you. The guy with the biggest confidence on this program. And now we're gonna finish the quiz. The winner of the game of the AI fintech and open banking is M. The quiz is finished. It was a pleasure to have all of you. I will swiftly finish the quiz, go back to find if there is a question, check with the Zoom. So you have a few seconds to ask your last questions. Yeah, that was a very long session. Who's M? It's a mystery. Okay, before checking the Zoom, I will check the questions. Okay, remember to stay hydrated. Yeah, my throat is killing me because I ran out of water. M. Revere Youssef, please, you are winning. Anonymous, is it patriotic? Oh, okay. No questions I can find in here. Let's go back to Zoom. If no questions, that will be it for today. Congrats, Am. Congratulations, Am. You've done a great job. Some of the questions were very difficult. Am is a hacker. I think it's you, Muhammad. You snitched on yourself. Thank you, MK. This was a great long session. Oh, by the way, sorry for this long session, but there is too much to cover. I hope it was fun and was not boring for you. Thank you, all of us, for bearing with me. 44 have survived this. Thank you, Burak, for staying at until this time. I know you are very busy. Lucy, I know you're very busy. Hopefully, guys, you are not cursing me for the extra 35 minutes, but sending you my love. I was happy to be with you for these 3 sessions. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. You can reach Burak, Lucy, and Gwen. And have a great rest of the week. Goodbye.
Thanks very much, MK.